you have to invent a word for that?
We've been in the wrong room necessarily.
It's so funny. Okay, so we're focusing on offerings. We'll talk about buyers in a moment. Has anybody else got an offering that's got some interesting components to it?
Yeah.
Has anybody got an offering that's maybe you've got a partnership which helps people buy from you? Partnership is often a part of an offering that if you buy my stuff from me, not only do you buy my training, but I have a whole bunch of associates who are experts on cold calling, on recruitment, on putting together sales forecasting systems. So when you come to me, part of my offering is my associates. And so you must think when you're analysing what we're going to do now about the offering. Now what about the buyer? Who are buyers? Can you define your buyers?
Our buyers?
Yeah.
Not exactly just yet, but we imagine that our buyers are going to be large corporations that are looking to incorporate our product into their offering.
Okay. Needs to be sharpened up a bit more than that. And the nice thing about what we're going to do is it's a recursive process. We're going to take an offering, and we're going to take a buyer, and we're going to create the takeaways from the combination of those two. So if this buyer invests in, buys this offering, they will take away some tires check stuff. Everybody happy with that little eternal triangle? Now, here's the reason it's useful, because you try that a few times with a definition of a buyer, and suddenly the takeaways aren't really very strong. Isn't this a great marketing tool? A great tool for doing some sort of strategy. So, okay, well, what would happen if we tried a slightly different offering? Maybe if we included training, which was never included before, run it through the algorithm, get stronger takeaways. Okay, maybe it's stronger now, let's have a different buyer. Let's reduce the age of the buyer demographic. Let's focus on people in growing countries and run it through again. And so you've got the ability to then come up with the strongest possible takeaways. Because I've not shown you what the last thing I'm going to show you before we start playing, is on the bottom is the most important thing of all, which is the money. And so a desire to buy is driven by TIRES. I would really like to buy your car, but I can't just cost justify it. I would really like to buy your pharmaceutical capability, but at the moment I don't have the cash flow to do it. So what we're really doing is we're going to turn a desire to buy into an order or a decision. And that is where most sales fail. They don't realise it's what they call a two-phase commitment. You've got the desire to buy, somebody puts it into my sales forecasting system. I used to run big sales teams, 60, 70 people, and they put stuff in the forecast because it had TIRES of varying amounts. But they would sit there for month after month, quarter after quarter, sometimes for a couple of years, because they've never been able to convert that into the money. Now, sometimes it takes that long to do it, but as long as you consciously, as you sell the stuff that you're going to be selling, think it's a two-phase process. I build a willing buyer, they love the stuff, but I've still got to get them to pay for it. If you get them all mixed up in your mind, you will be less successful than if you say, are we in a building willing buyer, or are we in a convincing phase? And a convincing phase is where you prove that it does improve the throughput, and you can actually give me objective information, and as a result of that objective information, I can put that into a spreadsheet and say, shit, I'm going to save $1,500 a week if I use your software, and away we go. Everybody with me? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little demonstration, which I'm going to do with Catherine. She didn't even know we were going to do this. So I've got the sheet somewhere, knocking around. We'll have a 2-minute pee break. I'm going to do a demonstration, and the technique is called so what. Okay? It's called so what to tire. So we're going to make statements about your offerings. No, it's not that. We're going to finish with that one. I've got another one for you. Don't worry. So this is where really how we do a so what analysis. On a fundamental level, we just challenge a statement about an offering, or about an idea, or about even me being employed by you, and we do so what, and we're going to drive some tires out of it. I've got to find a script for it, which has disappeared. Majid walked off with it. I can blame him for so many things, can't I? Can you see another script, anybody? I don't think it's in here. So what? Don't panic. It's here somewhere. Does anybody want to have 2-minute pee break? There should be some water.